Hello and welcome to India Today. I am Sanjay Ponnappa.
And this is Maruti Acharya, and we just completed watching the latest first Pan India film of Pawan Kalyan, HariHaraVeeraMallu Part 1.
Deputy Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh,
Also Deputy
Pawan
Chief
Kalyan.
Minister of Andhra Pradesh. Yeah, HariHaraVeeraMallu Part 1, Sword versus Spirit. Yes, we went to a special show, the celebrations happened and a lot of stuff. Again, I got diverted, but both videos will be in the description and the channel. Don't miss to check that out. Before getting into review, there is something very, very important that we want to talk about. It is about the theater experience, especially in the fan shows. And we will start with the review, but stay tuned for that conversation which we're going to have after the review.
There were bits and pieces which I liked in the film, but apart from that, more often than not, even though there were some highs in the film, most of it was just going down.
My experience of watching the film is, again, after watching and giving it a lot of thought, the idea, especially the idea in the first half, had a lot of potential. I can see why A.M. Ratnam, Pawan Kalyan, and director Krish were excited about this idea. The idea element is definitely there. But when it comes to execution, right, again, there are very few moments where the film actually shines. But overall, if you talk about the experience, most of the things test your patience.
Diving deeper into the details of the film, what worked for me, I'd say that the first half for me was a lot better than my experience in the second half. Although it takes off slowly, it does take its time, and it does at points test your patience where you are left questioning yourself whether you are actually bored or what is happening with the film. Is it actually slow? All these questions pop, but the film is actually making you question like this. It means that there is something lacking there. But in the first half, overall, by the interval point and then a little bit after, where the actual intermission sign comes, there is a good twist, a good action sequence, well choreographed action sequence. All of that is there, which makes it a compelling watch. It suddenly grabs your attention and end the interval point on a high note, which is good for the film. And another really good thing about the film for me was the music in bits and pieces, especially the background music. Not gonna lie, it kinda reminded me a bit of Salar, a little bit of Bahubali, and a little bit of KGF as well. It was very obviously M.M. Keeravani, but felt like M.M. Keeravani trying Ravi Basroor style. At the end of the day, it is all about whether it was good or not. So, for sure, the background music was really good.
Background music, absolutely. That's my biggest, in fact, a major, I don't want to call it an only strength, but a very solid part of the film is background music. When Pawan Kalyan in the pre-release event said backbone of the film, the pillar of the film, strength of the film is M.M. Keeravani. That is very rare when actors or directors give so much credit to music directors. But when you watch the film, you will definitely feel it. Yes, I agree to Sanjay. There are some bits and pieces where some amount of inspiration is very evident, but bottom line, there is so much of heavy lifting that both Pawan Kalyan and M.M. Keeravani is doing. And second thing, all the portions which were really shot in good set locations where they've put up sets, they really, really work. Because some set pieces also, especially in the second half, were bad. But the first half, I think the first half, everything was going for the film. It was slow. It was all over the place, but still, a lot of things were going to the film until the interval point.
See, until the interval point, it is very evident that irrespective of how the narrative is, it is going as planned.
Correct.
The shoots are going as planned, and you can see that there is a system there. It is not something that was just done for the sake of wrapping things up and giving a film. That becomes very evident in the second half. Another thing that I was thinking about is this actually is my first exposure to a Pawan Kalyan film in a theater. I totally get why he has such a crazy fan base.
Correct.
It transcends beyond just acting on screen. It is that myth or that mystical thing that we talk about all the time, which is screen presence. So that is there in abundance for the superstar, for Power Star, and that was very evident for me. That I kinda enjoyed. The action sequences I really loved. The kind of martial arts sucker I am.
Correct.
You could see all the moves. Yes, there were CG here and there. Yes, there were exaggerated moves. But that satisfaction when, irrespective if the next step is, exaggerating it a bit, if the actor is taking that first step and doing that swing really nicely, everything else is more convincing. And that I really loved.
Yes, Pawan Kalyan definitely take the director all of it. See, choosing a good script is definitely a role of an actor that also comes into the bucket list that an actor should take at the end of the day. in terms of choosing a good script, at least with the first half and the initial idea with what I assume, there also I see why he chose. And my god, the way at least his portion in this, what he can offer, his acting or screen presence, in terms of that, Pawan Kalyan just went all out again. There are some portions where it is evident that they were recently shot after him becoming the deputy chief minister of Andhra Pradesh. It is evident the change and all of that is there, but he really wanted to give 100% to the film, and he definitely did. Now let's get to the things that didn't work for the film. Vision to visual translation, both in terms of the story idea and in terms of the visual representation, are the biggest drawbacks of the film, because the film starts off as it being something else. Again, there's a lot of changes. It went through a 5 years of production, director's change and all of that. But again, it definitely feels like first half is directed by a different director. Second half, where the story is totally different, everything is running, and the threads that they tried to connect first half and second half were very, very weak. And third half, again, is it just me? I want you people to tell me.
Yeah.
Third half, the climax portion felt like a Zack Snyder very bad VFX work film.
It was Zack Snyder's Man of Steel scene where Superman's father gets flown away.
See, I am telling you, right? I just couldn't stop thinking about Zack Snyder reference there. Again, there are some portions where the whole Dharma angle will take over, and that scene and execution is really good. The first half, the whole hunt and the characterization, everything is different. That also works in some portions, but there's no match between this and this. So I think majorly this is why the film falls flat.
For me, in particular, what I felt about the film is there were points which I really liked in the film. For example, the pre-interval scuffle between the dynasties.
Charminar episode.
Yeah, Charminar episode, which I really liked. Maybe an unpopular opinion, but I kind of got on with the whole Pawan Kalyan talking to the wolves scene, which comes in between.
I definitely want your opinion on
Yes,
this, because
yes.
for me that scene didn't work at all. I felt it so gimmicky and so out of place, but he really enjoyed it. So you tell me, what do you think?
See, I will tell you. By that time, I had already given into the film and I was just ready to take it all. Out of all the things that were served, I really felt like this thing actually brought smiles on my face. That one sequence, which is the actual sequence, the action being choreographed by Pawan Kalyan himself, that scene also I liked. It kind of built the tension well, and then the whole action sequence that happened and the way people rise up to the occasion, all of that, it felt good to watch. Maybe, I don't know if whether it was, after having to sit through so many other bad sequences, getting something like that was kind of compensating more than it was affecting me. I don't know what it is, but at the end of the day, I felt like that was a highlight of the film that should be mentioned. I understand and I empathize with the fact that the film went through production turmoil, pre-production turmoil, whatever. But at the end of the day, especially if there is one director moving and then another director taking the place, it also is a responsibility of that director to ensure that it doesn't become two different films while watching the film. There is a need to continue, a need for continuance in the way the film feels also. If it is just so stark opposite, the second half, I know there's lack of dates and all of it. Maybe it should have been better handled or whatever. But when I honestly felt like there were just sequences in order to fill the second half, so that they knew where it has to get to by the climax. The rest was just fluff. So that doesn't really add anything. It just took away from the whole experience of the film. So that was one thing.
There are some scenes where they were naturally shot, especially there's this intro Machilipatnam fight sequence, okay? It has a lot of VFX, it has a lot of wire work, it has a lot of things happening in that one scene, starting from a very small basic render to a very important height. There's one elevation where there's a lot of sea and boats in the background. It looked beautiful. Trust me, when I saw that fight sequence, I was like, oh, it is actually good. From there, the VFX is just going low, low, low.
Especially in the second half.
VFX also is really, we were trying to invest ourselves into the film, but the VFX was definitely pulling me out of the film.
Well, that was our review of the film HariHaraVeeraMallu. But on a side note, it becomes very important when you're going out to watch a film that the whole experience is also good. Theater experience is a thing that people keep talking about.
Correct.
Especially in today's time where there is alternative. Otherwise, you can just sit at home, So what is theater experience? It is a community viewing experience. The community needs to be good. In most part of the film, it was just filled with papers, and it was frustrating to see that the fans itself aren't letting us watch the film. For me, particularly, an ideal fan is someone who encourages other people to watch their favorite actor's film. If a fan himself is obstructing that experience, what sense does it make? Another thing, it really has to be mandated that people who are intoxicated aren't let into the theaters. I know it is kind of a logistic hassle, but at the end of the day, it just hampers the viewing experience of so many people around them. So, irrespective of whether it is a fan, it just has to be dignified. That is the least, because it's not just, there are people of all ages. There were kids, there were women, there were young girls, there were older women. Everybody were there. These things just makes the whole situation uncomfortable. I just felt like it has to be addressed. If you've gone through something similar, please talk about that in the comment section below.
I wanted to talk about it. You saw my reaction in the auditorium. I actually went up having a heated argument with people. But thanks for bringing that up. Definitely. Again, I am nobody to tell people how to watch or celebrate or enjoy theater. It is a public place. It is all of that is said and done. But something, a basic civil behavior is something that I should really tell. Celebration. I celebrate. I also enjoy films. I also contribute in throwing those papers and all of that, which is all fine because the scene demands that. There is an elevation. There is something. There is that high. It is a first day, first show, fan special show. So I understand. But still, not to a level where you annoy the people who are watching. It's not just me, close to 30 to 40 people in the theater just started yelling at these fans who were throwing papers. And I can tell you, it was 40 minutes at a stretch. They were continuously throwing the papers, where I had to move out of the place where I'm sitting, go down where the papers are not interrupting my viewing experience, and then watch it. Not to stop celebrations or not to encourage people celebrating, but again, you are not the only person who's watching the film, and it is also your responsibility to make sure nobody else is getting disturbed. Second thing, the being intoxicated part is really true. Is that the only way we can enjoy and celebrate, and what? Because are we creating a safer environment, or see, already we are having discussions about people not coming to theaters, the audience are going away from the theaters, and if these kind of shows, it's not just for fan. I might not be Pawan Kalyan fan because that is today's movie. I'm taking it as an example. I will definitely want to have that theater experience. So if not anything, you should make it easy for me, not difficult.
While our experience today might have triggered us bringing up this conversation, this is not something that is, limited to a film with, Pawan Kalyan or a star like that.
Yes.
This happens with all the big stars, and fans of all the stars actually do go wild. There have been moments where we have spoken about how wild people are going, and sometimes it is also about that one question: is it really necessary? Family audience need to come and watch the film. Children also should come and watch the film. How are you going to get children to become, crazy cinema fans like us? Why do we love cinema so much? Because we've been mesmerized by it since we were kids.
Yeah.
So how will you create that environment? It's not just about you. It is a community viewing experience. Please, everybody, keep that in mind.
It is important. I think, again, please do let your opinions also in the comment section below. We do talk to all the fans. When we take public reactions, we ask their opinions. We have conversations with them. 90% of the fans are not like that. There are 2, 3, 4, like some bunch of people who usually behave like this, and it affects the name of the people who are organizing, because most of the time 90 to 9, I see the struggle, I acknowledge, I recognize what all, and lot of times I keep telling it, if not for fans, cinema wouldn't exist. So fans are important. This is not for all the fans of all in general. I'm talking about fans and not all the fans. Some people who usually lose their control, which can have a bigger impact on how people perceive us.
The extreme ones.
Refrain.
With that, I am Sanjay Ponnappa.
And this is Maruti Acharya, and you're watching India Today.